Hey, I'm Geordie, host of the Data to Deals podcast, helping brokers get more from their listings and closing more deals. Each episode dives into what's actually working right now, making your listings stand out more, to building a standout broker brand, to using AI and smarter tools to grow your business. If you're a broker looking to elevate your game, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Data to Deals podcast.
People say all the time, like, oh, New York is dead. How do you make any money there? But look, everyone else is leaving. We're doubling down. We had a fantastic year last year. I think this year is going to be even better based on the amount of distress. There's a saying in brokerage, when the market is bad, it's bad for brokerage. But when the market is really bad, it's actually good for brokerage. So the distress and discomfort maybe is probably a more apropos word for most of the sellers rather than distress, but the discomfort is causing people to transact. So the prices today for rent stabilized buildings are down about 75% from their peak in 2017, call it. So 75%. So not good.
Hi, this is Geordie from the Data to Deals podcast, here with Seth Glasser from Marcus Millichap in New York City. How are you today, Seth?
Feeling great.
Good.
Yeah.
Ready to roll. Okay, so why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, you want me to start from birth?
No, let's start maybe just like what's your background? I know you're a Marcus Millichap.
Okay. Yeah. I started at Marcus and Millichap in 2009 when nobody could get a job. So in 2009, you could either be an accountant, you can go back to school, or you could work for free. Those were basically like your three options for employment with for a 3.1 GPA type of person, which is what I was. So I chose the job where nobody pays you. And I've been there ever since.
I like it. So why'd you go there? I mean, why didn't you be an accountant? I mean, there's other things you could, I mean, why go into commercial real estate?
Why do this?
Yeah.
I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like most people that are 22 years old, you're just thrown out into the world and expected to know what to do. I had no clue what I wanted to do. And I found my job on Craigslist, actually. And a family friend is in the commercial real estate business, not in the same sector as where I ended up, but he's a shopping center guy, very good friends with my parents. And he's like, hey, you should check this out. I didn't know anything about commercial real estate, never been to Harlem, where I spend most of my time now. And I took the job, and young and dumb is probably the best way to describe most people that start in the brokerage world in their early 20s. And it's helpful not to know that much, actually.
Yeah.
Because if you know too much, you play scared, and scared doesn't win.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of how I started. And the team has grown and matured, and some people stayed, some people left, and constantly evolving. I mean, the business has changed so much since I started in 2009, but I'm very happy here. It's provided a really nice lifestyle and career for me with an enormous amount of freedom and autonomy that I really value.
Okay. That's great.
Some of my friends are, the 9-to-5 crew, the W-2 crowd, they have to put in for vacation days. They have to show up at the office at 9:00. I can kind of do whatever I want. Yeah. And I like that.
So you feel is it because you're kind of going out and doing giving tours and stuff? Is that sort of the lifestyle, or what is about it in particular?
I work for myself, really.
Yeah.
I'm an independent contractor. I work as much or as little as I want. I don't have to sign in or anything like that. And you work more, you make more. You work less, you make less, work smarter,
Yeah.
grow your business. Like you get compensated for your efforts. And the more that you learn and grow personally, as well as being able to give back, right? Like somebody mentored me. So I try to pay it forward and mentor other people and put them in a position where they're able to mentor other people. And so it keeps going and going. And I like that feeling of being a part of something um, bigger than myself.
Okay. I like that. It must have been hard to get through being, like in your 20s, you don't have a big book of accounts or anything. Like tell me about like how you got through those hard times, cuz my memory of New York City in that time was pretty tough for about 5 years. How'd you make it through that?
I start at the very bottom of the market, number one. Number two, so number one, start at the bottom, and then it was just all up from there until June of 2019. And then it's been like basically a sloping hill downwards since then because the communist takeover is in full effect here.
Okay.
And that's a real problem for not only our industry, but for the tenants, the low income tenants that live in the buildings. The politicians don't like to talk about that, but it's a real problem for the people that live in these buildings. So you start at the bottom. There's only one way to go.
Yeah.
And also, like I said earlier, young and dumb. Like you don't know you're at the bottom. You don't.
Yeah.
What do I know?
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
is. Like I just opened the door. Like that's the job. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
let's run it through the wall 100 times. Like
Yeah.
it's fine. That was the
Yeah.
job.
Tell me
And
about the marketplace. So the marketplace for you're in New York City. You're doing multifamily residential, right? So tell me about that. You mentioned that it's sort of rent controlled. Like how are you guys, sort of operating or finding opportunity in that market?
I mean, we've have a very established business. Our team, the New York Multifamily Group at Marcus and Millichap, is the number one team, I think, in the whole country, actually, at Marcus and Millichap. Last year, I think we sold 87 apartment buildings in New York City. We typically average, in like the low 90s every year of the number of transactions that we do. Our average deal is, call it $8 million, middle market type apartment buildings. A typical apartment building will sell, 50 rent stabilized apartments, 50,000 square feet, $5 million as like an example. There's also 4-unit buildings that are 100% free market that are also worth $5 million because they don't have any stabilized tenants, and the property taxes are like, $10,000 on a $5 million building, but the stabilized building has a $100,000 tax bill.
Yeah.
So that's like a different conversation about tax inequity and devaluing the properties. But yeah, like we're a big team. We have an established brand. The pipeline is enormous. We did last year opinions of value. I think we did 1,300 opinions of value. So that's like, 100 a month, 100 BOVs a month.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a really serious volume that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm really
What
happy to be
tools are you using to get through that? Do you have some tools that help you get through that or make it more sort of efficient? Are you guys starting to use AI there? If so, like what tools do you
Yeah,
like?
we started using an AI program about, I don't think it was a year ago. 12 months ago, something like that. We started doing that to help crank out the volume, and that's been tremendously helpful. We've actually helped the company grow and establish itself a little bit too, so we're kind of growing together, and we help influence like, hey, this looks good, this doesn't look good. You got to do this faster or this better. Why is the picture like this? It should be like this. So we're helping them like create their business, which is kind of cool.
And sorry, what's that?
And
What's that tool?
I prefer actually not to
Okay,
say
no
because
problem.
I don't know I don't know if
Yeah,
I'm supposed to
no
talk about
problem.
that.
But you're finding
But I'm sure there's a bunch
yeah.
of these like AI programs. I literally get like 10 cold emails or things on LinkedIn every week, like literally 10 a week. Hey, this AI, how do you do this? Like, here to help. Here's this software. Here's this SaaS program. All this stuff. Like, there's like a million of these types of businesses that are up and running and starting. So there's no shortage of um, people offering their
These
services.
tools, yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you found like some ways to be able to make like these workflows more efficient.
Hmm. Yep. Yep. Some overseas staff certainly helps, like with some of the mundane tasks. Um, yeah, it's good. You have to do, like, we're doing 100 a month. Like, you can't have like a 3 week turnaround on a BOB.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be like, a couple of days or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah. Are you finding like what areas are sort of that you're looking at for opportunity in your market? I mean, are you going outside of New York or?
no, for better or worse, we just keep doubling down in New York City. And people say all the time, like, oh, New York is dead. How do you make any money there? But look, everyone else is leaving. We're doubling down. We had a fantastic year last year. I think this year is going to be even better based on the amount of distress. There's a saying in brokerage: when the market is bad, it's bad for brokerage. But when the market is really bad, it's actually good for brokerage. So the distress and discomfort maybe is probably a more apropos word for most of the sellers rather than distress, but the discomfort is causing people to transact. So the prices today for rent stabilized buildings are down about 75% from their peak in 2017, call it.
Wow.
So 75%.
Yeah,
So
that's huge.
not good. Not good.
Yeah. And so obviously his turnover is like is or just distressed assets that are coming up and it's just changing ownership, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you got no choice, or like, for whatever reason you want to have you got, death, divorce, taxes, just management fatigue, right? Like this is not a shopping center or triple net lease. This is not a free market building. These are like 100-year-old apartment buildings that require massive amounts of capital, upkeep, and just attention. And look, if you're 60, 70 years old, like, life is better than dealing with rent stabilized apartment buildings. Just is.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, what about tell me about some of your like the deals that you're most proud of. Is there a deal that you can remember? I'm not talking about the one that was the best deal, but one that you really are proud of.
Um, I don't know. That's like saying who's your favorite child. uh,
Is there
I
one
don't
that
know.
sticks
Like, they
out?
all have.
Is there one that sticks out? I mean, like, it,
Is there one that sticks out? I guess there was one probably here, like 555 Edgecombe Avenue. We sold in, I think, early to mid 2022 for like $22 million. This was an estate sale. I had the building on the market in 2017 for $60 million. The seller turned down like $55 million. Seller turned down $55 million in 2017. In 2022, I sold it for, I think, 21 million.
wow.
So it went from 55 million to 21
Yeah.
in 5 years.
Wow. And they were just,
That's how bad the market was disrupted by the Housing Stability Tenant Protection Act of 2019.
wow.
And the politicians in New York have no interest, no desire, and no willingness to actually listen to the real estate industry. It's it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And do you see, you just,
Sad.
it sounds like you don't see that changing. I'm not like tied into New York. Yeah.
Absolutely not. These animals, like these politicians, they do not care about the tenants. They want to take back private property. Zoran Mamdani, Sia Weaver, they're not even hiding from it.
Yeah.
They're saying, we do not believe in private property. We want to devalue the buildings, and we want to socialize housing.
Yeah.
This is not like this is their bumper sticker. Like, this is insanity, and it's not good.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, but you're going to stay in, and you guys are having your best year. So I mean, is it like? Do you think it arguably is it? It doesn't sound like it's really bad for you guys.
Um, like we're making money and we're doing deals, but it doesn't feel good necessarily
Yeah.
because the client isn't really happy about selling buildings at these types of valuations. Getting through the due diligence is an absolute nightmare. Like on these deregulated apartments, you can have, let's say, a 20 unit building with 5 free market apartments. So 15 stabilized, 5 free market. Like getting the diligence on those 5 apartments is absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. Because you want to prove the deregulation. You're guilty until proven innocent. If a tenant goes to court and says, hey, I'm actually stabilized, not free market, the landlord's guilty. You lose automatically unless you prove yourself innocent. So in New York, you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. And you have to go dig up leases from like literally 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I have to go prove the deregulation of the apartment from 20 years ago. And who keeps like records and cancel checks, receipts, contractor invoices, the last lease from 20 years ago? It's crazy.
Yeah. But you're gonna stay. You have no intention of like leaving, though. I mean,
No, I don't
yeah,
know. No, let's go. Write it out.
yeah, and
Write it
but
out.
you don't see. You don't see any change in the politics. You guys like is the real estate, commercial real estate have like a lobbying arm or anything like that? Or
There's a significant um, industry movement and support system and lobbyists like that talk to the elected officials, are out there on the streets taking videos, like showing and educating people. They don't care.
yeah,
Don't care. They do not care. It's like really crazy and mostly sad and disappointing that the elected officials are intentionally devaluing and destroying not only private property, but people's homes. Like, and not only people's homes, but the most vulnerable. These are like mostly low income tenants that live in rent stabilized housing. And the people, you know, a lot of the stabilized tenants presumably vote for these politicians and they're voting against their own interest. And it's just sad to see.
yeah.
It's
I mean, do you foresee like any change in the next 5 years? I mean, with all
no,
no, really,
none.
no,
Nope.
just deeply entrenched. And it's, you were saying basically since 2019, it's just been kind of continuously.
June of 2019, Andrew Cuomo signed HSTPA and he destroyed the multifamily rent regulated real estate business and housing stock in New York City.
Yeah. There are other
June of 20.
markets that are doing well in the city, though, right? I mean,
The rents keep going up. Like the free market rents, they keep going up because no supply. You can't build anything. Landmarks is a disaster. DOB is impossible. Cost of construction goes up. Anything that you build is pretty much condo. So like you can't build middle income residential. Like the math just doesn't work. They let the what is it, the 421A lapse about, was that 2 years ago, I think.
Mhm.
So now for a long time you couldn't build anything. You couldn't build rentals because you couldn't get a tax abatement. So unless you got the land for free or maybe even like less than free, like you couldn't make it work to build rentals. So you had to build condos. So there's more and more condos, less and less, or not less and less, but I guess the same amount of rental units. Do you know how many vacant apartments there are in New York City right now?
No.
There's 50,000 vacant rent stabilized apartments.
Wow.
50,000.
Yeah.
These stupid idiots won't listen to the real estate industry.
Jeez.
And I don't know what type of podcast this is. And like, if you want to bleep stuff out, I don't care.
Yeah.
There's 50,000 vacant rent stabilized apartments. You got people living on the street. You got people telling you the rent is too damn high, but you got 50,000 vacant apartments. And the only reason why they're vacant is because of June 2019 HSTPA. You have vacant apartments where the last legal rent is like $900.
Yeah.
And the landlord has to take out the lead, do the electrical, put in the electrical stove. There's like a million things. It's like $100,000 to renovate some of these apartments, but you can only rent it for $900.
Yeah. So you never get. Yeah.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, would you spend $100,000
No, of
of
course
your
not.
own money
Yeah.
to go rent an apartment for $900,
Yeah.
and then the tenant's never going to leave ever?
Yeah.
You're never going to do that. It doesn't math.
Yeah.
So they lock the door, throw away the key.
Yeah. Wow. You mentioned that you have a podcast. Like what kind of stuff on the podcast is it? What kind of do you talk on the podcast?
Yeah, check it out. New York City multifamily podcast, available wherever you listen to podcasts,
Yeah.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple. New York City multifamily podcast. We're putting out an episode like every 10 days or 2 weeks, something like that. And then it's anything
Are you trying to make
relating
people
to.
aware of this and spread awareness? I mean, like it sounds like
Oh
a
yeah,
big,
absolutely.
this is
Yeah,
kind of like a
yeah,
big
I want to
grievance
spread.
of yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is like this is not just like
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm not talking out of turn on behalf of the entire real estate
Yeah.
industry. This is like
Yeah.
I'm just a talking head that everyone would like nod their head saying, yes, he's right. He's right. Like,
Yeah. What about
there's
solutions?
100%.
Is there solutions that you're talking about on your podcast? I mean, what, like,
100%. My partner, Sean, and I, we actually put together a rental housing peace plan,
yeah.
which we published. Look at on our website, newyorkmultifamily.com. You can look at the rental housing peace plan. And we were inspired to do this basically like, a peace plan, like the way that politicians do it. And, with much more serious consequences than what we're talking about just like rental housing in New York City. But the idea behind the peace plan is to get some common sense consensus, or just simple, practical ideas, increase the supply and protect tenants.
Yeah.
And there's no one on the real estate industry who has a problem or is against increasing the supply, protecting the tenants. 9 out of 10 people would say, yes, the rent is too damn high. It's ridiculous. But you know why it's high? Because you won't let us build anything and you're restricting 50,000 vacant apartments from being put online. And we draw it in crayon. They can't understand it.
Yeah.
Or they're unwilling to just acknowledge it. And part of this is that the policymakers despise the real estate industry more than they actually like their own tenants.
Yeah. Wow, that's it.
If you hate the opposition more than you love your own children, this is what you get.
Yeah. Yeah. The difficult situation.
It's actually very simple.
Yeah.
They're making it complicated. Yeah. The result is really policymakers' fault. And this is, it's very simple. Like with this peace plan, we put together a very simple plan. Vacancy reset, just like they do in California. In California, the cap rates are like 300 basis points lower in California than they are in New York. I'm selling like 9 and 10 caps in New York City. We have the highest cap rates in the country. Yeah. New York City has the highest cap rates in the country. Holy crap.
Yeah.
So, vacancy reset, buyouts. So tax the buyout. So if I buy out a tenant for $100,000, tenant, go buy a house wherever you want, take the $100,000, it's yours, buy a boat, put it in a savings account, pay off debt, do whatever you want. You got $100,000. I get the apartment back as the landlord. Now I get to reset the market rent. So if the rent was $1,000 and the market rent is $3,000, now I have an economic viable plan where I can go. It gave the tenant money for the keys. They left, did whatever they want with it. Now I'll pay a tax. This is my idea. Yeah. You pay a tax. You have $100,000. How about I pay a 5% tax? The landlord, here's $5,000 to legal aid. Mm-hmm. So legal aid is the nonprofit legal group funded by the city that keeps tenants in their building who can't afford attorneys. Yeah. So now, me, the landlord, is funding the legal society that keeps people in their building.
Yeah, yeah.
I stay in their building. What's the problem? Yeah. It costs taxpayers nothing. It costs tenants nothing. Does it increase the supply? Yes. Does it protect the tenants further? Yes. Does it give people jobs? Architects, contractors, plumbers, supers, like there's money being spent, like going around the system. Does it improve the property values? Yes. Should that increase the property taxes? Yes. Should that increase the transfer tax revenue every time a building sells because the value goes up? Yes.
Yeah.
There's no downside.
Yeah.
There's no downside.
Yeah. What would you say to any young people that are listening and thinking about getting into commercial real estate? Would you say that you would go into it like a lifestyle bit, or you say no because of the situation?
Look, I started in 2009 when it was like the doldrums of the market. So I think
do you see
it's actually a good
shoots?
time to start.
Do you see maybe green shoots or no?
Not right now, but you're 22, 23 years old. Like, things take time. Like the first 5 years in the business, like you don't know anything.
Yeah.
You're learning. You're a sponge. You're getting experience. You're falling on your face, getting back up. Like you're just figuring stuff out. So, I think it could be a great time to learn at the bottom of the market. I also think that there's, the commercial real estate industry is far and wide, like, like net lease, brokering net lease deals. I think it's probably a good thing to learn the business on somebody else's dime, right? Like go work, make, some type of simple base salary, work there for a year, figure out how a 10-year model works, underwrite, tour buildings, like learn the lay of the land and have someone pay you for it, and then move on to something else. I think is probably like a pretty reasonable place to start.
Okay. How about finding mentors for them? How would you recommend someone just getting started out?
That's a good question. I mean, I think so much is you could learn, by listening to podcasts and reading, and just on the job training. Mentors, I would pick someone with a track record who's been in the seat, who, if you look at their LinkedIn profile, doesn't have like 14 jobs on their historical employment. Yeah. I don't think that's a good thing to do, because they're not very sticky. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of it is feel. Like the people I worked with, like I didn't have a choice. I interviewed and they were like, all right, you're sitting there and that's your mentor. Great. Sounds good.
So
at Marcus and Millichap. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was easy because you weren't allowed to make a decision. Yeah. And that was fine. Like I was 22. Like, I don't know what this is. Yeah. Now it's different. Like you have a lot more autonomy and you interview with everyone. So like everyone that comes in the office, like they're doing like literally 25 interviews and, oh, I like this guy. I didn't like that guy. Like this woman, like felt good and whatever. Like you're just like, it's a little bit more of a feel and a personality. Yeah. But the nice thing about brokerage is that anyone can do it and there's no right or wrong way to do it. Like it's very much about like personality. Some clients really jive with my personality and that's why they're clients. And some people don't like the flavor. Yeah. And you too.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems your personality would come across as I would expect, like from New York, as direct and sort of, like.
I'm very direct. Yeah. I'm very direct. I've been doing this too long. Right? I don't deal with bullshit. If you're not living on planet Earth in New York City with what's happening, like go call another broker. Yeah. Like I'm fine with that. Like if you want a price from 4 years ago, like nice knowing you.
Yeah.
I'm only interested in dealing with people that want to know the truth. Yeah. That are like, just tell me what is happening.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's a good way to do business, I think, especially in New York, right?
100%.
Seth, appreciate your time. I'm going to wrap up. How can people find out more about you? You talked about the podcast. We'll put that in the show notes. Where can people find you if they want to reach out to you? Get some no nonsense.
Yeah, no problem. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Seth, Seth Glasser, Glasser. You could check out the New York City Multifamily podcast. We're at New York Multifamily at Marcus and Millichap. You could look me up. I'm pretty visible, and I'm happy to help or talk and point people in the right direction. And yeah, don't be a stranger.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Seth. Thank you for joining us on the Data to Deals podcast, the podcast that cuts through the noise and gives you real tactics working in commercial real estate right now. Each week we go deep on one topic. No fluff, no filler, just actionable strategies you can use to find better deals, analyze smarter, and close with confidence. Whether you're sourcing off-market opportunities, underwriting your next acquisition, or scaling your CRE portfolio, this show is built for investors and brokers who want an edge. New episodes drop every week, so make sure you don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen. This is the Data to Deals podcast. I'm your host, Geordie. Let's turn insights into income.